And let's turn now to James Creedon, who's here with Media Watch. What's buzzing on the internet, on social networks? James, good evening to you.
Good evening, Cyril.
You're tracking propaganda in the media concerning events in Ukraine. Forbes magazine claims that Russian media have been using actors in their coverage of events.
That's right, and for Forbes.com, they've been caught red-handed, Cyril. Let's show you 3 photos that Forbes.com have identified showing the same man by the name of Andrei Petkov, or at least that's the name, one of the given names. Now, Andrei Petkov appeared on 3 different Russian networks, Cyril, playing 3 different characters. So I think he was perhaps not doing a very good job at concealing his real identity, or the fact that he was
subtle, then.
Not very subtle at all. I mean, perhaps it wasn't even an attempt to do it altogether convincingly, I'm not sure. But in any case, the first image you're seeing here, Mr. Petkov is playing an ordinary citizen who was attacked by neo-Nazis in the southern Ukrainian city of Nikolaev.
And this was broadcast on Russian media.
That's right, Rossiya Vesti, Russia 1, which is the state broadcaster, and he appeared in a hospital bed having been attacked by neo-Nazis, or so the story went. The next image down, this time, he's a German spy, Cyril, and in very contrite mode, he is speaking to NTV National News, confessing the fact that he is indeed a German spy and that he's been caught red-handed. Dear oh dear. And further down again, this is on National News Crimea. I think I've got that right. It's another network, in any case, based in Crimea. And here he is a prominent paediatric surgeon who's returned to his home city in order to help organise protests, meanwhile saving some children as well as he goes along. So altogether, a fantastic individual. That also in the city of Nikolaev. The 3 characters are appearing in a hospital in Nikolaev. So this individual probably was in that hospital. He just wasn't the same individual, depending on what network you were looking at. So,
and these stories all serve the Russian narrative of what's going on in eastern Ukraine.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, Google Maps appears to be having difficulty, this is interesting, to decide the status of Crimea.
That's right. And depending on where you access Google Maps and depending on the zoom in on that border between Crimea and Ukraine, you find something very different. This is the Russian version of Google Maps. So if you're accessing Google Maps within Russia, this is what you get. Now, that's an international boundary. So
the blue line is the international border?
Exactly. So this Crimea is, for all intents and purposes, Russia in that map. Now, if you scroll down a little further, this is essentially what you get on Google Maps everywhere else, which is a dotted line, i.e. not an international border, except if you're accessing it in Ukraine, Cyril, in which case the border disappears altogether. So clearly some executive decision making that is not happening in Google headquarters, where they're deciding to keep everybody happy, except perhaps Crimeans themselves, depending. I mean, that's the big question there. If you're accessing it in Crimea, what do you get? Yeah, probably the Russian version, one would suspect.
So Google trying to be all things to all people.
Things to all people.
Next, a Polish advertising campaign. It's referring to the unrest in Ukraine as well.
That's right. Now, this is for Sobieski Polish vodka. Take a look at this, Cyril. Poland borders Ukraine. That, so far, is a fact. Guess Putin will do anything to get closer to a better vodka. So for this particular brand of vodka, their idea is that the whole motivation for this is better. Polish vodka is better than Russian vodka.
And they will do anything to sell their vodka.
That's exactly it. Now, some are seeing the funny side of it. Certainly in Sobieski they are. Others are saying this is clearly a tongue-in-cheek headline. Polish brand uses hilarious Ukraine conflict to sell vodka. So for Mediaite.com, perhaps the conflict isn't so funny, and maybe we shouldn't be using it as source material for an advertising campaign. Look, it gets a smile, but
wipe
perhaps
the smile off my face.
Indeed, there you go. Smile very briefly.
Let's move away from Ukraine. French media are critical of another incident of French bashing in the American media.
That's right. Now, this is BuzzFeed.com. This is an article going back to the 9th of April. How French are you? Now, you can imagine, Cyril, it's not particularly scientific in this instance. It's rather playing on the cliches, as you would expect. So, do you like smelly cheese? Do you skip queues? Have you gone on strike at least once in your life? All of that sort of stuff. Generally painting the French as an cantankerous, unreasonable lot. Now, in any case...
A number of cliches there, it has to be said. So, I mean, some of them are true, but there are some cliches hiding in there.
And based on the ones that I clicked on there, it determines at the end how French you are. Now, for lesinrecoupables.com, this is quite simply French bashing. BuzzFeed fait dans le French bashing. They're participating in French bashing. We've seen a lot of it in the last while. Articles such as this one in Newsweek, The Fall of France, and others that have been criticising the French media as playing up to stereotypes and not particularly accurate in their criticism. Now, it's interestingly on TF1.fr, French news network, network, they're pointing out that some French people seem to quite enjoy French bashing. They see the funny side of it, and they've isolated a few tweets where people are actually, there's a bit of self-deprecation going on. This person here, Philippe Corbet, I'm not sure how visible that is. He said he coughed up his coffee.
His black coffee.
He thought it was so funny, so he's sharing the article. So there you go. Now, speaking of TF1, just to finish with this, they have started an advertising campaign, perhaps because of this reputation that the French have for being a little bit unreasonable on occasion. Partageons des ondes positives. Let's share positive waves, or let's be more positive. And the whole advertising campaign plays on more positive images of France generally. It's kind of, I'm not sure if we can get the start of it, but that's the general theme of their advertising campaign, to be a little bit more positive, going against the stereotypical image, I suppose, that the French can sometimes have in foreign media, that they're a bit grouchy.
So the French go on strike and like smelly cheese, but at least they're capable of self-deprecation.
That's exactly it.
All right, James Creedon with Media Watch. Thank you very much.
Cyril.
Thanks for watching. Do stay tuned to France 24. We'll take a very short break. We're back in just a moment with another roundup of world news. Bye-bye.